I'm referring to my party's manifesto because I didn't want to get anything wrong. We're talking about cutting emissions and fuel bills and ending fuel poverty in people's homes. Because one of the things we did point out was a lot of the emphasis is on things like airports, but far more of the carbon releases in the atmosphere is through our central heating systems and our boilers. We really need to make sure that we're using those as efficiently as possible, and getting insulation to homes is key. We want to make sure that's in every home by 2030 and in the poorest homes by 2025. We will of course make sure that there's plenty of tree planting. I think we're all on board with tree planting. One of the things that we need to be aware of though is it's a little bit like teachers and a little bit like police officers. They don't just appear because you create a budget line for them and put some money next to it and say, oh, we've all of a sudden got them. They need training as well. One of the things that came out of the debate that my group started in Leeds City Council and that the Conservatives joined with us to support is we wanted to have a proper tree planting target for this city, because this city had signed up to be carbon neutral by 2030. And we know that we're not going to change our public transport overnight because, unfortunately, Alex lot are in charge and their record on delivering public transport infrastructure is deplorable. So we need to do a lot of offsetting so that in the first instance we can actually offset the carbon that we are putting into the atmosphere, and then hopefully in the future we'll reduce it by putting in extra options. So in terms of the local aspect, one of the things I've been very frustrated about David's colleagues on the Labour Council is that they have for years refused to expand recycling in the city and take in, for instance, food waste. Because food decomposing in landfill and the likes is creating the problem in the first place. If we can actually collect it and anaerobically digest it, we can actually use that fuel to create cleaner electricity than what we're getting at the moment. Also, on the buses, everyone should be on the same line on this one. Unfortunately, we're not. Buses need to be cheaper, they need to be more regular, and they need to be good quality. And unfortunately, under the present system, the private bus companies have the advantage, and they're stopping, for instance, any kind of Oyster card style system being introduced in the north of England as it is in London, because they say, oh no, we don't like it, we've got our own version and we can control our prices better. The deregulation of buses is needed absolutely for us to take over the pricing and the regularity of them, and that comes with devolution. And I wanted to make sure that that was mentioned at some point. The decisions are best made in public policy closest to where those decisions will actually take place, and devolution is key. It's the one thing I can agree with the Yorkshire Party on this, is that we need more decision making here and perhaps match the funding that goes to London on transport here in Yorkshire.
Moving on.